Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 395th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. This is a production of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Cremond, and I am host once again in this continuous weekly series of workshops. And once again, we have the honor of being joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who are ready to begin today's workshop. So let me get that arranged here, and we will begin shortly. Let me get one of our attendees situated here, and I think we're ready to go. Well, we're almost ready to go.
Okay, that was me, Rick.
Now we're ready to go. Thank you, Mark.
Gosh, it disconnected the iPad. I had to try and join on the phone. The iPad's coming in, but welcome everyone to the One Nation Network supported by, or a One Nation Planet supported by a One Nation Network. Welcome to the entrance to the big city, or one of the entrances, let's say, to the big city. I was thinking about this earlier, where Mr. Keshe had said, we're taking you out of the village of Earth into the big city of the universe. But maybe I was thinking he meant that we're going from the matter state understanding of things more to the energy dimension of understanding things. As he said, we're too much involved with the physicality, far too involved with nothing. So, and of course, we welcome you to the new era of a new time. There's an old saying in the United States where they say in English, where they say, the times they are a-changing. And they certainly are, and it's our responsibility to, in a way, deliver or help to deliver this gift in a way that's being given to us. I know he talked about extending the half-life, and perhaps I was also thinking about this earlier. We're going from, in a way, if you know about flowers, you have annuals and perennials, where the annuals die off in a year or less, and the perennials, you plant it once and it comes back and it comes back again. So we're gaining an aspect of immortality in this energy dimension. We're bringing the time of the planet closer to the time of the universe, which is zero, where there's no time. And as Mr. Keshe said in the last workshop, we can dictate the time of life. And we're becoming, all of us are becoming those teachers of the knowledge, and we're going to spread this across the universe. And of course, creating and trying to create this daughter of Mitra, which is happening in some of the knowledge seekers workshop, all done through the interaction and combinations of fields. As he said, we are changing the time by adding an energy factor, which changes the time. So welcome everyone to this new time, and thank you for taking the responsibility to investigate and understand this knowledge for yourself, and that you can share it with the others. So welcome to the new era of time on planet Earth.
Very good, Mark. We're going to have an excerpt now from the last Knowledge Seekers Workshop, number 606, about the collective images of the souls. This will be about 4 minutes, and then we'll go on to the wishes.
Yes. You see, this is you lot before we connect. And look at the image. Shut down image more or less. And look what happens when you are straight connected. Just Rick starts talking. intention of starting the session. And we'll see how it is before and after. There's nothing much. You've just got the normal spreadic, and then you see how the system frequencies changes, the gap changes. And then you watch, this is the time when we added our material into it. Because you lot have been, we don't need to inject you with things, we just bring things and see what happens to you lot. You go total shutdown. It's very interesting how you react with, without connecting to us, just by thoughts, and then when you connect to us, and then when system runs mayhem on its own, for its own dimension, you see how the soul spreads. The test today was to not to energize you or get you to a position what we're looking for, is to see how your energy spreads and what we need to bring it together like last time. You see, last time we looked, this time we're working on the dimension of physicality. You see, all your soul levels, which is green, is below the line. Your physicality is taking control. Your physicality has dimension too. You remember the picture of the one I showed you from last week, because we set on you, the soul was going like this. And now you're below line. It means the physicality and soul of physicality, this is what we planned, we wanted to see, we can control both ways, is an operation. It's very interesting for us to see, and then you see the dimension. Central column, it's very centralized. You have your, what I call the, I have to bring this up, I can take it out of the zone. You have the physical dimension, you have the energy dimension. No, and if you look, it's in one column. The purpose of today, what we set everything up, was to see how we can dilute everything that we can ship instead of working with a high concentration of physicality. And it seems that we are pretty good. We got it pretty right. And then tomorrow, I want to see what I can do with you or not. And what will be the outcome? How we do things and see what the effect will be and what you respond, that we can set the system. Because sorry, I have to answer. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, that's our excerpt of the 606 Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last September 4th. Okay, let's carry on with our workshop here. You just get that up. And next we have what's called the wishes. And each of the wishes will have a full minute of silence to reflect and implement the wish. And I think we begin with Shweta.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. The wishes, beautiful soul, is always there as a being of compassion, kindness, love, and abundance and light. So thank you. And and the wishes. We, the Universal Council, give through our soul all the love to all souls in existence to be in peace and balanced position according to the ethos of Mitra. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial support for all work of Keshe Foundation and Markray Corporation to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race.
Bonjour. We, the Universal Council, wish from our souls to have water for all beings live.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strengths to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet.
Elizabeth was to do this one, but we'll have to have a substitute.
Yes, yes. Thank you. We, the Universal Council, Elevate the soul of all leaders to achieve the permanent and lasting peace. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Next, we have the connection between souls with Shweta.
Yes, I thank you. Thank you so much. And here we are again, beautiful souls in the realm of universal soul. So I will say, I love you, my soul. I live with you, and I love with you, and I adore you. Join the soul of man with the soul of physicality by speaking these words in this moment. So beautiful. Really, I adore you, my soul. See what the soul will give back to you. It is a it can be done anytime. You can do it anytime, as this is the bond. This is the way we are. This is the nature we are. So thank you, and always say this. I love you, my soul. Thank you. Thank you, my Derek. Now we can go to the next presentation. Soul connection, my dear. As we already said that I love you, my soul, then all we are now here in this now moment. Breathe in the beauty. And this is the only now we have in a way. Breathe out what you want to give. And also, this breathing and breathe out makes you present in the now, depleting those energies you don't want to be with you anymore, and also give you this giving position to be there to give the kindness, the compassion, the virtues of heart, dear beautiful soul. So I will say, breathe in slowly in your heart and breathe out. If you say that from your mouth, then it's all, it's all the way we are now. It creates the future we want to, and it has been created. So I will say the beauty is, and it's many of us can see that, what is the future. As Keshe Foundation is in this position of giving now completely and will be all over the planet. So much relief for those who want it, for neons. Thank you. Thank you. And the soul connection, breathe in, my dear, and breathe out. Have a rose in your hand. Only imagine. Thank you. And the soul connection will be for 2 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for all being here. I was stated in want to say it in Hindi also, in the national language as we say in India, that आप आराम से बैठिए, प्यार भरे मन से बैठिए साहब, और सांस धीरे से लीजिए और धीरे से छोड़िए. हमेशा इस बात का ध्यान रखिए कि आप हमेशा प्रस्तुत रहें इस श्वास के आने जाने के साथ. यही एक खूबसूरती है जो हम दुनिया को दे सकते हैं। दुनिया में प्यार बांट सकते हैं, दया बांट सकते हैं। उनको जरूरत है, उनको हम सब कुछ दे सकते हैं। आप सांस लीजिए और सांस बाहर कीजिए और आराम के उसमें बैठिए। आप जहां भी हो, जैसे भी हो, कोई भी हो, इस प्यार में लीन हो जाएं। तो हम 2 मिनट के लिए इसे रखते हैं, फिर मिलते हैं 2 मिनट बाद। Then we will come back after 2 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much, beautiful souls, for being here always. So soulful. This is, thank you. Thank you. All the love, always. So thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you.
Next, we have an excerpt from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop about becoming a Universal Council member. I will play that now.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60 and they serve during the 60 years, they are there till 61. They, to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally. And we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Yes, I also want to add, my dear beautiful souls, from wherever you are, it is so much important now. And for the existence of all souls in love. This is the time to serve, as we are here to serve. Join the Universal Council membership, join the Universal Council support, as we are all universal souls. Join, be in the service of humanity now. This is the moment. Welcome to Keshe Foundation. Suswagatam to Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization in the beauty and totality. Thank you so much. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, hello again. It's Mehran, Universal Council Support the Farsi language. There is an announce from a Universal Council to all the Keshe family and the Universal family in unifying at the soul level every time and every day and at 9 p.m. CET to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve the permanent and lasting peace. It's very important for us because we are part of this elevation of human beings. And we know that we have a soul, and we know that our soul is powerful. We know that the soul has emotion. When we use the emotion and the power of the soul, we can, it is sincere, we can create the reality in the matter world. And it's not instantly. We shouldn't wait for a miracle. It just works in the universe. It puts it in the universe. And then it becomes, according to the time, the reality. And that's our power to do something for the peace on earth. And then when we have the peace in equality, then we can have technology coming out by everybody, for everybody on the whole world. So nobody is behind, nobody is in front, and everybody takes according to their wish and their intelligence. So that's not a small thing, but it is useful and very needed for this planet. We have gone too much out of balance. We have the money and resources in the hand of the minimum number, and the majority is getting less and less. And you know that in plasma balance, when one is getting too much and the other is getting smaller, there is destruction which comes. One of them is destroyed or one of them is exploded. And that is, again, according to the time and magnetic gravity and the time of everything at the same time. But the thing is that everything follows this rule, everything follows this regulation and discipline in the world. Otherwise, things didn't stay where they are. So, by collecting the soul, relating the soul, or whatever we think is the soul, or our emotion, or our heart desires for peace, we connect together. And that's where the whole thing starts to be put in place. And I wish peace, and I wish that the leaders get from our souls what they need to become less hyperactive, to become calmer and can observe the reality, can observe what the things are, and that having power and having the whole reserve of money and riches is not what makes man truly happy. It's the pleasure, but the true happiness is lasting. And for those who believe in a life after, for the soul, They believe that after this life, there is a soul life, and that soul life is the result of what we do in the right way or wrong way. So it's justice in every level and in every small thing. So I thank you very much for doing this beautiful action. It helps us all. And I hope we see the peace and prosperity for humanity, all of us. Thank you.
I believe we have, before we have the peace treaty that we're going to address, we have this invitation to ask the
Yes,
Universal
yes,
Council with Shweta. Thank you, Shweta.
yes. Oh, thank you so much. And this is to invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council, to send us your questions to be answered live each week, or the needs of your community. And this is about, as the emails and the web page of the Universal Council is updating and very with the newness, and these and will be given in the Spaceship Institute organization website. Keshe Foundation will very soon, and I also urge and welcome all souls, those who want to share something or want to share any knowledge, want to advise us, have a discussion. Please do. I welcome you to all the telegrams, those of different languages of Keshe Foundation. And please do join, ask, as we are all learning, beautiful souls. We will interact accordingly with love, compassion, kindness. So thank you. Thank you and welcome to the telegrams of different language of Keshe Foundation. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Next, we have a discussion about the World Peace Treaty. And I'll put the link for this into our chat, and folks can look at it or download it from that position.
Thank you, Rick. It's Dean here. Rick, I'm going to read this out if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay, so this is the World Peace Treaty, and we all know that the knowledge seekers and the seekers of knowledge that are present and understand this have all signed this with their soul. So whether they physically signed it and you know, actually written it down on a piece of paper, or they've put an intention forward and said with their soul that I will never harm another with intention. So this is the World Peace Treaty. And whether you are a world leader or somebody that is not a world leader, but maybe you are in another sense, it's the same for all of us. So it's the same intention, it's the same wish, it's the same peace treaty. And it goes like this. We, as citizens of the earth, from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We, shall never think about getting involved or incite war or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we, all agree and swear with my, and then you can delete as appropriate, nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, body or bodies, and soul, souls. And there is you can sign it with your name, a signature, a date, a position that you'd like to put forward on behalf of the nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, or individual. And then you can get somebody to witness it for you. You know, a name, a signature, a date, a position held. And this position can be whatever it is that you entitle yourself with, or are respected amongst your peers and others that to give you this title that you accept. After signing this treaty, be proud to display this certificate wherever you consider being important to you, that everyone can see and know your ethos to fellow men and the mankind and other created beauties of the Creator. This World Peace Treaty is very significant in these moments. Mr. Keshe has mentioned about some certain calendar dates that are being put forward, and it's to take certain energies to create certain conditions using the calendar as a way to control energy. And it's been done before. And we all know that if you're present in the moment and you have at your immediate delivery, you can spread a message worldwide, whatever that message is, you can create conditions. But that's in the matter state. That's in like the local medias and the media, the worldwide medias, and being presented in physicality. And when you have this control system that creates a certain condition, you can control a narrative. With the World Peace Treaty and signing it with your soul, and we are all citizens of the universe. We are all present in the moment, and we're all present on this beautiful blue planet that is within our solar system, within the galaxy, and then the universe, and then the unicos, all the universes, and we are one planet positioned in a magnetic field. And so when we hear about all these wars and inciting wars and creating mayhem, remember this is in a very tiny little position that when you're part of it and you're viewing it, it becomes the biggest thing in your reality. But when you're the creator, or when you're a universal citizen and you're outside of it and you understand it and you look back at it, you realize how out of line this is with the creation and the creator. And we're all part of the same condition. And we all will come to understand that what is you becomes me, and vice versa. So that war inside, created within the soul of physicality, the soul understands this. It's trying to bring back a condition of peace and balance. And we can all do this by, Sweater and others have all, given us many opportunities to understand that you can connect with your soul. So whatever position you decide or you give yourself, you can still have a direct communication, a direct contact in this precise moment. And you can connect with the creator, with another soul, whatever it is that you need for you to come into a peaceful, balanced condition. If you have this this energy of war inside yourself. And as I said earlier, we are all from the same. The air that I breathe out, you breathe in. And I breathe in the air that you breathe out. This is the physical side. And all of that is contained within a plasma that is within the atmosphere of planet Earth. One tiny little plasma that is connected to all the other plasmas of the universe. And remember, from an atom to a universe is a plasma. So it doesn't matter how you interact, whether it's in the matter state, which is in, physical life, or whether you interact on a plasmatic condition. Many people call it theology or, praying. Others will call it connecting to the soul, as we've been taught by Mr. Keshe in the foundation. And you start to establish this connection and you build a field strength of peace. You would never think to incite war unless you have a low intention to create a condition to have more. And with this technology, with this peace treaty, once you sign it, you can establish a connection where the reality that we can create would give you everything you ever need. Everything. And the possibilities and the opportunities are endless. This technology gives everything that you need as a single individual, as a community, as a nation, as a planet. And remember, this planet is part of a much bigger structure. And the souls that are present and understand this realize that we're the seeds that go forth and create whatever field strength that you have. You will create a new condition outside of the planet Earth, if you wish. And this is a condition of understanding that each and every one of us, once you actually contact the soul and and really understand a little or a lot of the condition of being present in the moment and connecting, you can establish everything. And when enough of us come together, we are going to create a reality that is so wondrous. It's the matter state condition that we have, the physicality is being heavily controlled in a certain way. So if we step outside by going inside and really connecting, like where everybody does with the Universal Council, are connecting at 9 o'clock every day, every moment, and wherever is possible for you. So you just create a condition where you connect, give from your soul to another soul, or to a community, a nation, a planet. It's unlimited. The only limitation is what you view, where you view from. So when you start to realize this, you realize that you are a creator that can contact the soul of man. And you can create peace in this moment. So sign the World Peace Treaty with your soul and be proud to display this wherever and whenever you someone may see it in physical form, and also project, give forth the energy, create the energy from your soul to let all the other souls know that you are a peaceful soul in this moment. So the World Peace Treaty, sign it with your soul. Thank you for being present. Thank you, Rick.
Just wanted to ask Dean about this displaying this certificate that others can see and know your ethos. Is this a type of reactor? I remember Rick saying many times that there are as many reactors as there are stars in the universe, something along that line. Could this, because you've embedded your peace wishes in this, you've endorsed it, you've signed it, by displaying it, is this a type of reactor that, even though it's on paper, could it touch the energies of another soul just by reading it?
Most definitely, Mark. Mr. Keshe brought this forward, and when we, as knowledge seekers, each and every one of us that came across this, time, place, position, possession. We are in this moment. We were, if you're listening to this or you listen to this whenever, and you connect with it, there's a reason your soul has brought you to this position for you to receive this knowledge at this time. And there's no coincidences. This is absolutely the moment for each and every one of us that hear this. So the people in the background, the ones that listen to every knowledge seekers workshop and decipher and pick every moment of energy that they need, you in the background right now, whoever you are working for, your soul has positioned you to hear this at this moment because you're part of the creation. And so it touches the soul, all our souls, as one. And there's a reason why you hear this from the knowledge seekers, from the understanding and the beauty of Mr. Keshe and the Universal Council and all the other parts of the knowledge seekers. Their souls have been positioned. And now it is your positioning to establish the connection with peace. And Mark, that's one other thing I would like to say is I've been creating some other useful tools to bring peace and everything. And it's you suddenly, by speaking about this, you suddenly made me realize I will print this out or create it as an energy pack and place this within the new tool that I've just been working on, and then with a thought, a condition, I will then amplify this to create it so that it spreads the message from my soul across the planet and goes out to all the beings, all the beautiful souls that are present, that are already part of the peace process. But the fact that they know that we are connecting to it is probably a beautiful thing. Does that answer the question, Mark?
Yes, beautiful. Beautiful, Dean. And I was asking at one point in time, is this the document that the world leaders will actually sign? I mean, where's the rest of it? Where's the other 100 or 200 pages? You know how these documents are usually quite detailed, but this is the entire totality of the World Peace Treaty in this one document. And this is what the world leaders will sign, or sign it with, as you say, or other knowledge seekers say, the pen of your soul. You don't have to physically sign the document.
Yeah, Mark, you get that. That is the beauty of it, Mark. As a soul, it is this simple. We don't need legions of words, of letters, of energies, creating other contradictory energies that all come together and create other things. This never-ending thread that is part of the energy that is being passed between us. So when you simplify it and you bring it to this very precise thing, we are talking to the soul of man. We're talking to the world leaders' souls. When the soul of physicality, it seems to be very low. They seem to have reached a condition where there's nowhere to elevate because they don't allow themselves to elevate. We give from our soul to elevate their soul unconditionally. That is what knowledge seekers, that is what all the the people of the foundation do, all the Universal Council people, all the universal citizens that are present in this moment. This is what they do. They give from their soul to elevate the energy of the soul of the world leaders. And this is souls that are present in physicality, and very close to their soul of physicality, to the physical body. And I know the ones that are in certain positions a little bit higher up. They know this information. They know that it's energy transfer and has nothing to do with the way that the matter state is controlled. At the other end of the scale, they understand the beauty of the message that is being portrayed for us to become peaceful souls, and they know this. You know this. And when I give unconditionally from my soul and make it available to the elevation of your soul in this moment, and my wish is my command, and we are present. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, my dear Jean. Thank you so much. I also want to say about this World Peace Treaty. And when it just kind of, appeared, like, and when I saw it, it's like a spread of my heart, the whole heart of me, what I wanted always. And then I signed it. The two witness that was there, they were present. I told them what I'm signing, but I'm sorry. Here we are all soul beings. In the universe, you need not a pen. You don't need a pen to sign. Your soul pen is enough. So, with your soul present in this peace treaty, a peace treaty from within you for all that is. I have signed it like that, and that was the moment I remember still now. That was the moment I was feeling so, like a light beam, light emanating from inside me. And I will use the word sometime, divine. But then I felt that this is so true. The world, the planet should be like this. So true. We are all citizens of this planet, of this cosmos. We are all celebrate as a citizen in peace. With this peace treaty, my dear beautiful soul. Thank you. Great experience. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Well, thank you, Mark and Dean and Shweta. I'd like to add, I look up at my bulletin board, and above my bulletin board is a framed copy of the World Peace Treaty, and the date on it is March 21st, 2013, 12 years ago. And, it's been quite a journey during that time. We've gone through a lot of transformations in the Keshe Foundation, and people as individuals, and the people on Earth, and the situations on the planet are all dynamic and changing. And I note that there's a particular urgency, even more now than back a decade ago. Mr. Keshe had warned us in the last workshop that the following weekend, that would be Friday, September 5th, and Saturday, Sunday, the 6th and 7th, they were particularly important days in terms of the turnings of the universe. And he expected that the powers that be would use them, use that to start their activities, the world leaders were up to their tricks. And sure enough, I was kind of noting what headlines would come up during that time. On Friday, that was when the U.S. Through President Trump created their Department of War. They changed the name from Department of Defense to Department of War. And they emphasized that a couple of days before by bombing a Venezuela boat with supposedly with some drug runners in it, and just bombed them out of the water, basically. And this is kind of a major step in escalation of war, because it's, this sets a precedent for other types of activities like that, especially when they call themselves the Department of War. And at that same time, our Prime Minister in Canada, Canada's supposed to be a neutral and peace-loving country, our Prime Minister Carney calls for maximum pressure on Russia. And then Putin at the same time is issuing threats to everyone that he doesn't want all the allies to come in and put weapons into Ukraine. And at the same time, Russia made their largest bombing of Ukraine on that weekend as well. So a lot happened during that time, and it just emphasizes the importance of the World Peace Treaty, and for each of us to adopt that mentality and emotion inside of peace, and to let go of the aggression that that is fueling our authorities and leaders that seem to be hell-bent on creating that on planet Earth. And it's quite a battle of the emotions, and a battle of the powers that be, as they start losing their grip on us as a humanity, and humanity starts having more of that emotion of love and connectedness amongst ourselves. Then these pressures from the world leaders and their creation of Department of War, when it's time for a creation of Department of Peace, and for countries to start thinking about being neutral rather than taking sides, one side or the other, black and white, and this kind of thing. It's either for us or against us, is the typical saying. And we need to have some grown-ups in the room to decide things on a different basis than creation of wars. So yes, the World Peace Treaty, to wrap up, the World Peace Treaty is becoming more and more important as we go along. And it would be nice, wouldn't it be something to see all the nations sign into this, and to not use any tools of war and develop them. There's many countries that may not use them, but they sure develop them and sell them to other countries and whatnot. So this is all part of a massive infrastructure that is in need of dismantling. And it's not an easy thing and not a fast thing, but it is a sure thing. With the powers of love will overcome the powers of aggression. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So we're in a very interesting time right now with the maximum sort of dichotomy or polarity happening. But at the same time, we have the chance for the maximum effect of peace as well. So it's very encouraging in many ways. All right, and let me just show where on the Keshe Foundation site that you can find the World Peace Treaty. So if you go to the regular Keshe Foundation website and go to About and scroll down to World Peace Treaty, and you'll see the World Peace Treaty, as well as you can download the PDF from there. And also look at a couple of other documents about the insight into the future of man on Earth, the status of scientists, and the signing of the World Peace Treaty, and the peace leader to the world leaders. So I put the link in our chat here. I can't put the link into the YouTube chat right now, but as I've shown here, you can go to Keshe Foundation site, go to About, and scroll down to World Peace Treaty. You'll find it there. All right, back to our program.
This is our program.
Yes, this is a program, true. Back to our PDF for our guide for the program. Is there anything else to be said about World Peace Treaty, anyone? Okay, let's carry on. Next, we have a graphic of the creation of life from the 606 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Just bear with me a second while I locate that.
Now, Rick, is he explaining here of what happened to knowledge seekers in the workshop itself? Or is this something that happened in transmutation? I think he was trying to show how they separated the soul in the actual workshop by introducing certain energies.
Yes, I think he talked about, is this the part where he talked about when I started talking and he showed the graph changed and whatnot? So that would be if part of the workshop rather than the transmutation session. Okay, I've got that teed up here. Let me share it and I'll play that. It's about a 5 or 6 minute excerpt. Here we go.
Now, what will be interesting, play the video and then watch. What I want you to watch, I mark it to watch. I want you to watch this area. I want to see if you see it. Then I want you to watch this area. And then in development, watch this area. Zone 1 is where we introduce energy. The energy introduced, don't forget, you lot prior to this point all connected to the system. So you have one energy. We introduce one energy, which is our system. Let's play. Watch what's happening. Just run the video, please. This is about 3 minutes. In a way, we introduce to you the condition of the egg and the sperm. And as we introduce the energy to you, just watch how this area develops. It's developing very softly in the background, but it's creating what we call the soul of the physicality with it. If you monitor here, watch the spheric,
the soul of physicality is taking shape. So now we have introduced matter energy, and the soul, the energy of the collective soul, is taking over. And watch what happens. I keep quiet for you to just watch this, and then we go back to it to analyze it. Run it as it is, please. This is your physicality. This is the soul of physicality, and this is the soul area.
Bear with me, the video just randomly stopped working.
We feel you.
Jeez. I'll try to jump start it here. I'm not sure if I'll be at the right spot.
Which is our system. Let's play. Watch what's happening. Just run the video, please. This is about 3 minutes. In a way, we introduce to you the condition of the egg and the sperm. And as we introduce the energy to you, just watch how this area develops. It's developing very softly in the background, but it's creating what we call the soul of the physicality with it. If you monitor here, watch the spheric, the soul of physicality is taking shape. So now we have introduced matter energy, and the soul, the energy of the collective soul, is taking over. And watch what happens. I keep quiet for you to just watch this, and then we go back to it to analyze it. Run it as it is, please. This is your physicality. This is the soul of physicality, and this is the soul area. Just watch. You see how soul gradually develops. If you watch it, you see repeats what we know in the world of creation. The life starts from the point of physicality, energy-wise. That's how it goes. Exactly like a thunder. And then when collectively increases, it returns back to feed itself. This video, if it's understood and analyzed in full, you will see how life created. This is why we have the egg and sperm. We bring the egg
and a sperm together, which is the dimension of physicality. In this corner, this comes together as the strengthening collectively creates the soul of the physicality, and then it connects to universal energy through dimension of the hydrogen, and then comes back to itself. The most important thing for us is in a space. Now you see, if you can bring it, you see this matter, this environment increases. This is the part of the soul. You see it increases gradually as it feeds back to the soul of physicality and the physicality which is in this body. Gradually builds up. And this is exactly what happens to us in the dimension of physicality. You can see how the soul is taking shape. If you see the dots, they come in one by one. And this explained to us, if we understand this, we decide the starting time. We decide the zero time. And the energy we put in decides the soul of physicality and what energy in the universe we connect to. And then you feed back to itself the dimension of the physicality. We put it back in a new environment, then we have the creature of that environment in that point and position. Scientifically, there'll be more research, we do more research, because we have come to understand much more. And those of you who join us tomorrow in the session, we tell you what happened to you last week. We have recorded it. We usually do.
Okay, that's our excerpt for today of the graphic of the creation of life. Again, that's from the last 606 Knowledge Seekers Workshop from September 4th. Okay, get back. Okay, now I believe we have the knowledge and understanding from the 606 Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Mark and Stefania and others who might want to contribute.
Anyone would like to go ahead? I've made a brief summary. We'll try to keep it to around 10 minutes or so, but this is just my understanding. And again, what I say is just what I'm trying to, or what has touched me in a way. But as Mr. Keshe has always promised, we're delivering a new science, a new ethos, which Dean covered quite well, and a new language to the planet. And of course, in the 606, this was another teaching in the evolution of science of man in the dimension of, again, energy and not matter state. And then, of course, he went through the last week, the two souls, the enlightenment came from a question, and how the life starts really in the energy dimension. And as we just heard, we were one energy collection, and they introduced another energy. He almost referred to us as the egg and the energy they were introducing as the sperm. And by understanding the totality, we can replicate the daughter of Mitra, which is this perfect child. And apparently this is what's happening. We just saw the creation of the soul within minutes. And I think in the other graph, he said we created the soul in less than a minute. So we see how the soul of physicality will react. And then, of course, he said he spent about a week with a scientist who works on this creation of life, and he was shocked what he heard and about the spark, and how when the egg and the sperm come together, they always see a spark, and the scientists didn't understand it. Mr. Keshe started to explain this interaction between the sun and the earth, and where the light comes from, or this spark of life, as it's referred to. This is a spark of life, a creation of light, a dynamic plasma he was referring it to, and the scientists just accepted that as part of the process of bringing the sperm and egg together. But after the explanation, the scientists started to understand more. And again, this was a leading scientist in the creation of life, apparently on the edge. And again, the new science we're introducing is not really replacing man's science, of course, but adding to the knowledge of man. We're building upon it. So he talked about the spark and the strength of the spark. In the future, we'll be able to tell if that strength is a boy, and this strength perhaps is a girl. They'll also see by the strength of the light any abnormalities, and apparently they can be corrected. But this will happen, I guess, this measurement and things will happen in the future as we develop this understanding about seeing the light and understanding what that light is actually communicating. And this is just another dimension of life in the energy side. We see a parallel. And we did the same with all of you in the session, which I just think we saw on the graph. There's no difference, he said, in the world of creation, whether it's a planet, the earth, the egg, and the sperm, or when we decide to interact and change. Then he, of course, went through the lightning. Again, we were sort of taught there were 3 types of lightnings, and now new science is saying, no, the lightning starts from the bottom and goes up. A small energy brings the soul into it, apparently, even into the soul of the planet. So it starts from the bottom as a small dot and then reaches up, and then, of course, feeds back down. And he mentioned how we're all in these matter state energies. And we're waiting, Mr. Keshe has been waiting for the confirmation, I guess, of what he's seen on the graph and the other things. He says he's been waiting for this for 40 years. So we look at the graph, and we are all the egg, and we introduce the sperm as an energy. And you as a group are one energy, and apparently the energies they introduce. And then we see, as we just saw, the soul of physicality take place. Then the soul takes over and develops. And this repeats the cycle of life, goes up, feeds back to itself, just like the lightning. If we understand, we decide the starting time and what energy in the universe we connect with. We just heard, I believe, that as well. So they can separate, as he said, we introduced an energy at a certain part, and we separated the soul from the soul of physicality and the physicality, which again is beyond my understanding. What energies or combination of energies introduced remotely could actually make this happen? But as we see in the graphs, it's happening. And the soul increases and feeds back to the soul of physicality and the physicality. This is exactly what happens to us. We decide the starting time. And then he refers back to the session, the spectrum of the soul, or separation of the soul, shows how we attain life, energy. But it needs more research. And again, this womb decides the energy, how the creation will manifest itself. And he says we replicate energies of the womb as if the mother was here. So we change the energy of the room, it changes, its creation changes. And we decide what outcome will be. See what will be the creation of humanity with other creatures in the universe. Apparently we can test this somehow, not in physicality dimension, but in energy. How your creation as a man in space may look if you interact with other creatures. The soul of man will change on its interaction, how we can make man immortal. He went into a little bit of that, and explained how President Xi and President Putin were talking, and they're both apparently 72 years old. I didn't know that. And they were talking with our knowledge of the matter state, how we can change organs and things, and probably live to 150 years in that method. I guess it'll probably just be for the elite, of course. But he said we can change the soul of physicality through interactions with energies of the universe and change energy at this point, that the soul and soul of physicality changes the physicality. Children will be enlightened in the future, apparently more than we are today. And this research is so amazing. It's the exact replication of universal energy. We show how this can affect us physically, interact directly with the soul. So it can change the physicality and change the soul. And how the knowledge seekers are becoming enlightened, knowledgeable. And some may even touch the love of the Creator. This enlightenment is a higher order of energy. And it doesn't start with we didn't start with the physicality. And apparently we've, in a way, modified it and tainted it, and we've created other mental conditions as well over our time of existence here. And our work is to bring a new dimension of work for all of us. No need to worry about the children in the future. And apparently the way they do it now causes some scraping on the embryos or something like this. But this creates another problem. But we've become, in a way, he said, we've become animals, and now we're becoming peaceful. I guess over the time we've lost our connection to this energy dimension and became so physical, which has made us more aggressive and more prone to killing. And why does man stay in this physicality? We're going to change the dimension and bring in the games. I think he talked about this or mentioned, my understanding, the enlightenment game. But also through these energies, I also believe we're getting enlightened. Again, we create the children of Mitra without the modifications, apparently, that we've done to ourselves. And that way, in the future, we enter the earth as pure souls and change the aggression of man and the killing of man. And as we said in what Dean was talking about in the World Peace Treaty, I was thinking, yes, we need to stop killing each other, but then there's also, we have this, and maybe when we settle down, we'll understand it more, this other war against the vertical people and the horizontal people. And this is what needs to be corrected. And as we understand, he said they don't want to have to come back again to do the correction. This will be the final time. And he mentioned about the soul of Christ and the virgin birth. Of course, this is what happens in some entities in the universe. Apparently, there's no physical interaction on the creation. It's done through this sort of interaction of fields, indicating that even touching perhaps another creature could cause their demise. So they stay pretty much, I believe, on the field level. But we can extend this knowledge through the systems, he said, that they're calling the One Nation Network. I know he talked about a grid across this planet, but he's also mentioned to create this mesh across the universe. So apparently, until we learn more about our own reactors, we may be dependent on this system or learn from the system for a while. And as he said, the shortage was from the Earth, and they're delivering the energies that the universe was supposed to deliver here, that the physicality doesn't have to act so funny. Then he went back to the coin where he said, I look for the coin of peace, and we look for the coin in the matter state. So, and we're just making man ready for the next step. And now we create a man that will not kill. And the sessions on the 5th, as he said, that was in September 5th, will show this. We are changing the time. We're added energy factors. which changes the time. Now we can interfere with the energies of time. We're learning a little bit of the aspect of this, but apparently they've used this in the universe before to change the timeline of planets by, as he said, introducing a certain factor of energies, a combination of energies, brings a different result, a different creation, a different understanding. And then, of course, he talked about the chicken egg maturing in 21 days and man takes 9 months. And perhaps we can reduce that. I guess this would be probably in the far further future from 9 months to 3 months, or maybe even a half an hour. And this system brings that, and we can change the man. And this gives an example of the wheat in China as well, how they use the energies or the Gans waters and reducing the maturity of the wheat from 140 days to 127. It doesn't sound like much, but he said the weight of the harvest had increased, even though the grains of the rice did not increase. The density of the protein within those grains moved from an average of 10% to closer to protein of 20%. So this has never been shown in the world of science. I think they have done something where they've gone past 10%. But again, this was nowhere, nobody has shown the doubling of the protein harvest and the weight of the harvest, the increase. Then he said, if man decides to interfere with this cycle of birth, we don't need 9 months. And he said animal research is being pushed through, and this will be shown fully. And we don't damage the embryo, as I said earlier, by cutting, or if they see defective parts or parts that shouldn't be there, as they do today. So apparently reducing the gestation time. And I was always wondering when he said we need 75 billion people on this planet to go into space, I was saying, gee, that's a major, you're going to have to go quite a long time to reach 75 billion. But now with this new system, apparently humanity's population can increase within days or weeks or even months if we reduce the gestation time to a half an hour. And then he showed the graph of the souls. I think this was later in the workshop near the end. And he said the soul was created in less than a minute. And the cosmic rays, the huge change they bring. Again, I don't understand the internal workings of all this, but I'm just getting an overall view is what I think he's sort of giving us. As he's indicated before, we show you what we do, but at this point, they don't show us exactly how they do it. So we reached an understanding and knowledge that is so vast. And we play with the energies, as he said, not the physicality. And we take energies of the sperm and the egg, apparently in the future, from the soul. And no child will be born incomplete. And of course, as he said earlier, when he was referring to Putin, that we can not reach 150 years, we can reach 150,000 years, and perhaps even billions of years that they can extend the life. And I think that's about all I wanted to share. If anyone else wants to add, that was just, again, I want to be impartial, just my understanding of what I sort of picked up or wrote down or took a few notes on this workshop, and that was my summary. And as we know, energies are embedded into these workshops. Even if you're not even understanding the same language, as you don't understand English, but again, these energies are reaching through and somehow making small or even bigger adjustments within your physicality or energy dimension. Remember, we're both. We're just not energy, even though that's our true nature, but we operate in both dimensions, in the physicality and the energy. But as indicated, we're heavily weighted in the matter state, as most people are, and as I am as well. But we're trying to, in a way, grow into this new understanding of the energy dimension of science, which man, and even the leading scientists on this planet have been steered away from or ignored or didn't want to know more about this process of creation. And as Mr. Keshe said in some of the Q&A about this creation of nano and below nano materials on a consistent basis. And we can maybe imagine what this understanding will bring to mankind as a whole. But as I feel, this is being gifted to humanity to bring that elevation. But the extension of this knowledge, yes, we have a one nation planet is what we're working for. Maybe that's the software, and now we need some hardware to support. And this, again, as he said, the whole structure of the Keshe, the process that's going on here is hidden within the One Nation network, within the coins, within the Mark Ray operation, the cosmic rays, the Gans waters we released. It's sort of a totality, plus the sun, the universal communities, to gently, in a way, bring the change without creating a lot of mayhem on this planet. And perhaps we need to go through this unstable period in a way to get us to realize that we need to accept a different understanding and move to peace out of the fear of our own demise, or at least our partial demise on this planet, which the world leaders seem to be. Again, I don't know if they're toothless barking dogs or those teeth are very sharp, but Mr. Keshe seemed to indicate that they're watching this rather closely. And here's a picture of the One Nation network. Part of it, there's an ID, there's a coin, and there's a computer system, a sort of decentralized system, which will allow us to operate in a way independently. And of course, it'll be hooked up to the internet initially, but then it will move into the cosmic ray type of communications, I think, which will be triggered more by emotions than probably your keyboard, but I'm not sure. And of course, the game of enlightenment is hidden within this system too. As he said, you won't be able to play the game unless you have this ID card, the One Nation ID. A lot of things, again, we're just sort of being shown what's happening or developing in the background, and we're asked as knowledge seekers to reach into the pocket, help to create this network and gift it back to humanity. And that is the mission at this point. So thank you for listening. And if anyone wants to add anything else, please do. I'm sure I missed. These workshops will be open for decades and centuries and probably millennia in the future. Some of these things that are hidden in here, I don't even think we've comprehended yet or even noticed that they were there. So again, slowly, gradually, but collectively, we're all being upgraded and given in a way, or the energies that the universe or the creation didn't provide to this planet. And this does make us behave, or the physicality behave a little funny to meet the demands of the energies that's needed. And we all know what that is. But perhaps we'll address that in the future. Dean, I was thinking, is our mouth the tool of war? Maybe when we have a deeper understanding. I know it can bring pleasure, but we certainly, and I'm still in that process, I do grind up a lot of other creatures with that mouth. So, but we can also share knowledge with that. But now the new way is through the energy dimension, not so much speaking verbally. I think this is the new understanding and part of the new dimension of the energy science. So just thought I'd share that.
Mark, thank you for your very comprehensive understanding of the knowledge. Quite extraordinary. Thank you very much. I'd just like to add a little bit, only the fact that you touched on a few things from Mr. Keshe and what we've come to know. And for me, the 606 had some very beautiful knowledge in it. And Mr. Keshe said that humanity, mankind, came as lights from the Creator millions of years ago. So, and you spoke about this spark of creation. And if we all understand this, the amount of times, and I'm not talking about war, you know, a spark of a detonation of something. I'm talking about all of us, this spark of light that we experience in many, many different ways. It's suddenly, it's a creation point. And we all experience it in different ways in our physical lives. And maybe we experience it more on a soul level when we're traveling, which we do every night. So for me, the enlightenment process is for humanity, and this knowledge that has been shared in all the knowledge seekers workshops. But the last one, Mr. Keshe went into some great detail about the interactions of, you know, the womb of the universe and then you change the, you know, the environment, the conditions of it, and the children will be different.
Absolutely.
And so this is from you can do it in a plasmatic condition, you know, the soul of Mitra and all this sort of thing, or you can do it in a physical form. So everything is relevant to each other. You know, it's all connected. And that, for me, that's the understanding of the Six of Cities. Suddenly brought it all together that you realize how connected everything is. Mr. Keshe was talking about many, many different things, how the energies are created. And one thing we must understand, really must understand now, is we create from the fields. And when, as a knowledge seeker, which we all are, you understand this, we create from the fields. So when you start off in the matter, when you start off in a physical sense, you're limiting yourself. If you go higher up the, you know, the whatever you want to call it, higher up, and you start to create, you know, whether it's a thought or a condition on a soul level, then you bring it to the matter state. Then you bring it into physicality. It's, you know, we can go the other way, but you're always going to be controlled by what's outside of you. When you understand that if you start to create within yourself, then you are the creator. You're starting to create the, you know, the matter interactions, you know, the spark of light, you know, the knowledge, the real, when you suddenly connect to this knowledge and you understand this, the light goes on and you are the creator. And then you change the matter state, you change the conditions. And for me, that was a very beautiful understanding. I've sort of known it for some time, but the 606 suddenly gave me a greater understanding. And when listening to it a few times, you absorb the energy of it, the understanding of it. And I know that many scientists, world leaders, and others are listening to this knowledge as well. And they're absorbing this knowledge. So, and some people that want to use it in a certain way, but you are from the creator. You are the creator. And so it's the ethos of the foundation, the ethos of a soul. And when you start to receive this, you'll realize you can't use it. Plasma will not harm another. The intention to create is a universal condition from the creation point. And so it's going to create the beauty of the knowledge. And that this knowledge is from the universe. And it's going beyond the knowledge that humanity received through the prophets. The prophets were universal beings that came and gave it some knowledge. And many knowledge seekers now received on a soul level the same knowledge. They are equal to the prophets. They understand the knowledge and they can speak to it to the people who don't know anything about it, and they become the prophets. So we, each and every single one of us, it's not one man, it's not one figurehead, Buddha, Christ, whoever you want to describe. It's now all of us. You know, that spark of initiation is happening with every single plasma soul that is present in, you know, on planet Earth, and many that are present on a soul level that don't need the physical form, and they're here, you know, guiding and helping and creating conditions. Humanity has reached this point of the spark of elevation, and the, you know, the knowledge. This new One Nation network that Mr. Keshe is bringing forward is going to create in the matter state a condition where each and every soul receives what they need to live a comfortable life, to be able to sustain and not live with suffering. You know, creating conditions with calendars and energies, creating suffering to you know, to hold a position. We've you know, knowledge seekers have understood some of this knowledge and started to create in a different way. You listen to Rick and Mark and all the others, they know so much now, and yet they know a tiny fraction of the creation, but enough to change the condition wherever they speak the words, you know, and they have an alignment with speaking, the thought, you know, the creation point, that spark of light, and then the manifestation of the actions. They action it. And so this knowledge is coming forward and being delivered and given freely. And we heard that Mr. Keshe said that he's very open. The more knowledge he gives for free, he knows it can only go one way. You can't fight it. You can't fight creation. If you're from your viewpoint of a tiny speck of matter, you think you can fight creation. It's impossibility. Creation is within you. You're part of it. So you can fight it, but you will find, like a cancer, you will eat, you'll consume yourself. And then you'll go into the matter state. Sorry, you'll go into the plasma state. And then you start all over again. And then you'll, you know, there'll be an enlightenment to what you've experienced. So enjoy the ride. I'm sure it will get more and more wonderful as we go along. And I know that these flight sessions that have taken place, Mr. Keshe has been enlightening us with the knowledge of the souls, you know, from physicality to the soul of physicality to the solar man, and showing us these little dots that are, you know, the souls that are combining and becoming, you know, he can position your soul to create. And sometimes, you know, it will, you know, depending upon your experiences, you will go into the physical side and the soul of physicality. And another time you will go into the plasmatic condition and start to connect with more. This journey that, you know, mankind are on is an elevation of the soul. It is becoming very relevant for each and every one of us to understand, you know, the position that we are in right now, and time. Time has always been used in a certain way. Now the knowledge is coming forward, you understand how important time is to be able to manufacture and change the emotions that create, you know, that spark of light in a different way, the DNA of mankind being changed through the emotions. And when you are a universal entity and you have the knowledge and you come to planet Earth to help, you know, enlighten humanity, you already have the knowledge. Then you've got to implement it in a certain way. And this is what Mr. Keshe and the foundation have been doing gradually. And I think, you know, the knowledge seekers and the ones that have been going in the flight sessions are experiencing the full beauty of the creation. And Mr. Keshe said some of them, some of these beautiful souls will maybe start to experience, that path directly back to the Creator. And this beauty that is being part of this, everything. We are everything, and everything is that we construct around us is part of the creation. I've noticed myself whenever, and I know other knowledge seekers have experienced this who've been in the flight sessions. When we start to create think something, it starts to manifest very, very quickly. And so what I personally have been trying to do, but trying, that's not always the best way, is the thought process. You have to have a very clear and clean thought process, because as soon as a thought comes to you, if you absorb it, create the matter, then you create in the wrong way sometimes. If your thoughts are wrong, your experiences are wrong. So now you understand how the control systems worked, how the matter state is from the outside is controlling the emotions on the inside. And when we reverse it, flip it, and we start to, create inside ourselves, then the outside changes. We're creating the wrong way. Mr. Keshe spoke about this with the reactors. And someone's think from the Italians was saying something to do with how the reactors, the gases were going out to the outside of the reactor. And Mr. Keshe said you didn't understand the science. But I think they've been enlightened now. I think they've understood the process of being present in the moment and going inside, being present with yourself in the physical form. And then this process, this spark of enlightenment, the spark of creation happens, and you create more beauty. And that process is ongoing for many of the knowledge seekers. And I sense that, can you imagine the knowledge seekers that are going into these flight sessions, knowing that there's a war in the physical form about to be created, and they go and they create wishes and intentions to bring peace to the soul of man, whichever man. And there's no hiding anymore. You can't hide in a bunker. You can't hide anywhere in the matter state. You have to go into the plasmatic condition. And that means then you become part of the creation, the creation point. So what are we fighting for, as Mr. Keshe would say? There is no place to hide. At some point, the energy transfer will happen, and your enlightenment, your understanding will be created in that moment. So a little bit of rambling there, sorry, and I'm sure it's not all of the teachings of Mr. Keshe in the 606. But Mark, thank you so much for your understanding, because it was priceless and very, very beautiful. Thank you, Mark. And
we're signing you up, Dean, for sharing the knowledge and understanding next week.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you.
Okay, very nice, guys. Let's move on to transmutation time with Moshfek, if he's available.
Yes. So let's see. Thanks, Dean and Mark, for going into the last workshop in a quite elaborate manner. And there are some very interesting things in there. I was going to talk a little bit about something else, but I think it's better to focus on it in a different way, given that we had this previous discussion. So how does the igniting this effect of creating lightning, the thunder and lightning, and the spark comes from the ground. So there is an interesting element here, and as we know, as Mark was talking about it, is the sperm and the egg coming together creates a spark. And that, together with the source of information and knowledge, essentially creates the soul of physicality, which in turn gives the form of the physical shape we are used to, or the shape of the lightning as it expresses itself in the end. So, are we the lightning? Are we an expression of the enlightenment? Something to think about. So before the creation can happen, the request has to come from somewhere, right? The physicality. And then it goes back up to a much higher energy level, and then the lightning strikes, or the soul of physicality comes into existence. This is all in the energy level. So, so this gives us a very interesting idea in terms of what our physicality is with respect to the whole creation and the creator. It is where the spark, the little spark, that starts. How does the little spark come into me? Some energy comes into this physicality and the spark happens. So this is all we have to do, get the spark going.
And
remember,
of course, if you light up or become enlightened, as he said, don't become arrogant. Stay humble.
Well, then the fire will consume you. So, we have to kind of do the ignition and stay away from the fire. So that's, there is that part. So physicality cannot handle this level of energy. What it is good at is to create this spark. Now, in the presentation that Mr. Keshe did, there was some energy that was transferred to the physicality. Now let's talk about that one. So in a way, that's the triggering part of the control system. So in order, the request for what is to happen is all in that spark. And what is that extra energy coming from? It's the emotion that we have to be aware of to start, or the intention that we create. Along with it, the emotion we create, we start this, creates the spark. It is one of the, somewhere it has to come. And this is one of the ways of thinking about it. I mean, this is not the only way of it, but somewhere somebody intended that spark to happen. In this case, Mr. Keshe is doing some, creating some spark. All right. He's doing it. Now, how do we do it? And this is where the intention and the focus comes in. The focus has to be there. It doesn't, as Dean was talking about it too, is that, when our thoughts are not, well organized, which I would translate to the word focus. because I'm talking about my understanding here. So, but it's essentially the same thing. We have to be able to focus. We actually hear this in the people who do meditation, and the spiritual people that talk about, single-mindedness in the meditation. It's to bring the necessary energy together to create the right kind of spark, so that it calls forth the correct level of energy, which sets the timing too. And I'll come into a little bit of the practicality of things. So we, I'll give this example of getting burned. We all get burned, if we are around kitchens one time or another. So, we can use various techniques to get our burned skin fixed. And, we have now GANS technique, and, it's a lot better than what we had it before, like salt water and cold water, whatever else, aloe vera and stuff like that. And then I have talked a little bit about using salt to fix the skin burn. And so what is happening in case of, let's say, aloe vera, or like the salt water, whatever the technique, the ancient techniques, and then you have the technique of GANS, where we are bringing much higher level of energy. In a way, we are changing the time span of the recovery process. With soul level, we can invoke a much higher level energy, and that's the spark, the nature of the spark. How do we want to do it? We want to do it in aloe vera time, in GANS time, or with the soul in a few seconds. So it's the spark that accesses the level of energy that we want to use. So in a way, the time that we want the things to happen within is determined by us, and when and how. It's all is that the whole thing is compressed in that spark. So, having talked about the skin situation, we have a burn situation going on with the war effort that we are hearing. Rick gave some examples of it, Defense Department turning into Department of War. Okay. So it's time for us in a way to engage. And as you will see in the needs and wishes section, local needs and wishes section, that part, we have some wishes to address the war. But when we read those wishes and think about them, we can think in these terms of this ignition. We are just igniting the fire. Rest of it will happen based on the prevailing condition. So, of course, our wish is to make it better or move to the new time of health, peace, and prosperity. And that new time from now on, there are collective needs that needs to be met, of course. So there will be a finite time, of course. But we can expedite by having access to the highest possible energy we can muster. And this is, in today's wishes, as we do these, we can practically apply this transmutation technique and adjust the time of the events to come that way. we have the information available to us. So why not use it? And we have examples to back it up. We have experiments and data that was shown to us in the Knowledge Seekers workshop. So it's time to apply these things. And you know, the time, you know, it's not just time, let's say, me as a person, let's say I want it fixed in 2 seconds. No, that's not how it works. Thing is that it's not one soul, it's the collective soul of the planet. So yes, there are some other factors come into play to adjust the time factor. And this we can be flexible about, and we have to be. And so this also dictates what level of energy we access to correct the situation. So it requires a bit more understanding in terms of how this happens, but we can do our best, and the new time is within our reach. So that's all really. This transmutation technique that we just discussed is something to keep in mind as we use the wish. And this is essentially, we are adding to the wish our own energy to access higher levels of energy, so that the effects come into being in a time that most appropriate for the collective entity called the planet Earth and its being. And we are part of it. And do we have a say in it? Yes, we do. And yes, we do, in the sense that we are taking on the responsibility. And why? Because we love it. So with love and responsibility, we engage these wishes as a transmutation mechanism, and a transmutation spark. That's the term I'll use the same term I've been using, and then create the necessary access to the highest possible energy level to bring about change. It's not that difficult. We are all equipped to do it now, and let's do it. So anyway, so this is all I wanted to say. Thank you very much. And if anybody wants to share that experience of the reactions they may have gotten from participating in the Knowledge Seeker workshop, or even the Friday meeting, if they're in a position to share, that would be great. So I invite all the Knowledge Seekers workshop who are interested to do so. And if anybody else wants to add to what I just said, you're welcome to do so as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mosfeq. It's Dean here. Mosfeq, I'd like to ask you a question on your beautiful teaching there. So the transmutation, using the analogy that you use with the layers of the skin of the man, how could we create a condition to pacify and bring peace to the war situation?
So, using the analogy of 3 layers of skin, you can see when the spark is created at the physical level, in order to make the higher level, the soul level, to make the necessary connection, a middle layer manifested, which is the soul of physicality, which in turn created the physicality. So soul level, inner part of the skin, soul of physicality, that's the middle layer. And the physicality is the top layer. So we create the fire at the physical level, or the spark at the physical level, not the fire. And then the energy starts flowing to the inner layer, and it gathers around necessary energy for the middle layer to start developing, as we saw in the video that was shown, where the middle layer was developing, and which in turn enforces the condition at the physical level, which is the manifestation of physicality. So the skin, so the burned skin got rejuvenated by the process of the triggering that happened from the observation and the emotion that was felt, which in turn triggered the control system and then created the energy flow to the higher level for the middle layer to be adjusted for the top layer to be reconstructed. We are reconstructing the planet, recondition, and that's how it is.
Beautiful,
Make sense?
Mosfeq. Yeah, thank you, Mosfeq, for your understanding. Very, very beautiful. So we can, with using that analogy, we, the beautiful souls that are listening can create, however you'd like to say it, the 3 layers of the skin of the man, a condition to bring about, as you've just described, a spark of enlightenment, creation point for the peace, like the World Peace Treaty, within an environment. So we can't always expect it to be like a total undoing of what's been created, but we can create a new condition. It's a bit like you were saying with rejuvenating the burnt skin. So we can create a condition using your analogy in the way you've just described it, where we use the soul and then the soul of physicality and the interaction, within the middle layer, and create a new condition. And if enough knowledge seekers are experiencing this and understand this condition, they can use it by joining the souls together, like we do at 9 o'clock every evening, and create a condition of world peace. Is this the sort of thing that you meant, Mosfeq?
Yeah, war is essentially the skin burning on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Same thing, really, if you think about it.
So what is the spark that we talk about? How is that created, and what is that? It's like a leader going out, and it induces the corresponding coming back in. How is that created? What does that look like?
The burn condition and the desire to get it right.
Desire
Strong
and maybe
desire
intention.
to get it right. That's the light. Our strong desire to get it right. And as soon as possible, as well as possible. That's it. That's the light. The spark. The light means spark here. And the planetary condition, we see it. In a way, having this war and a large number of people being aware of it and wanting an end of this, wanting an end to the people who are doing it. That's our desire. It's very strong across the planet. A lot of people want this to happen. What we are doing here in the needs, we can actually do this experiment today. I mean, right now, in the needs and wishes section, as we read through the wishes and focus our strong desire to get it done. And do we doubt? It's not nothing to do about doubting. It can be done. Let's do it. There is doubting is like we're still. If we talk about doubts, it's like falling into the old program. No, it's the spark does not take a lot of you need just a few. When I used to go to mountains, I mean, creating fire, especially in wet condition, you had to collect dry skins. We are the dry sticks, and a few sticks. You will need a few sticks to get it going, and then then you put bigger pieces of wood, and the fire goes. So to get it going, you need just a few small sticks. You don't need the whole forest. So this is exactly how we have to think about it. We don't need a whole lot to get the spark going. Spark is really small thing. And so this is the spark to end the burning skin condition of the planet.
So Mosfeq, so if we had a kind mankind, beautiful soul world leader that maybe can't show this, but could create a condition of intention inside their own physical being, and set an intention that creates. And the moment that they connect to it and think about it, the creation point can take position. So we can, we could change the whole pattern of things just with one little intention, knowing that they would receive much back, much, much more.
Actually, you just said a very interesting word, which is mankind. Each of us here is one such man, and we can be kind. And with this kindness, we do this ignition. And that's all we need, a man being kind towards our situation, our planet. And that's all we need to create the spark. And I'm talking about real man and real kindness. That's all. And that will be the spark. That's all the strength we need.
Thank you, Mosfeq. I think you just did. Thank you very much.
We had a comment in the YouTube from Tender previously before we were, or as the topic of spark came up. The comment is, a spark is created through a friction, be it of fields on a soul level, be it on a differently magnetically charged soul of physicality level, for example, in the atmosphere, or be it of the physical origin. And they go on to say, basically every lightning spark is created through a feedback loop between two entities. And so on. So,
my dear Rick, I want to say about the question, about the asking from Ike, that is that the question from Ike? I mean,
no, that was a comment from Tender in the YouTube.
oh, okay. Thank you, Tender. Thank you. There's a question from Ike also, that light is a measure of physicality, so to say, and occurs when two dynamic fields strength meet. Is that spark of light only at the physicality level, or does it occur also at the energy level, soul of physicality connecting to the universal energy? And I would say it starts from the energy level, from the intention. That is also an energy. It starts from the energy. It's coming one by one. At the energy level, it crosses and then it manifests in a way that according to the intention is. Because in this manifestation also, it gets, the intention with the inertia, the condition we are, sometimes get messed up. Because the intention is according to the condition. But when the intention is the universal way, then it manifests in a universal way, coming out from all the energy levels, from all the cosmic and all you have. We have also energy levels, so it comes from the energy levels first. Like when in India in meditation we say chakras, and these chakras work as energy levels, and it comes one by one, and this knot open, you know, in the sacral chakra, or you can say the energy level of creation, and then it creates according to your desire, and it creates according to your desire. How it comes in physicality depends solely on us, our on our timeless true self, indeed. So, as from eons we have been taught that physicality is everything. There is no soul, but now we know soul is the ultimate creator, and we are attached to it, trust it. We are in love with it. So I will say, Ike, that yes, energy first. It is the intention is also an emotion and a form of energy, and it crosses the energy level. And sometimes it gets corrupt, sometimes it comes through. As we have came through all these years, all eons, now we are getting seen in our vision, in manifestation, Keshe Foundation, and all beautiful souls around. We understand now that is the manifestation. So I think, my dear Ike, you understand, as we understand, we all understand like this, you know. Thank you for asking the question. Thank you so much.
It's interesting. Just note that we talk about sparks and the physical spark that occurs. We have sparks in our life in terms of, maybe electric motors create sparks, or when you rub your feet on a carpet and touch a doorknob, you'll get a spark, a static spark that occurs, or other types of sparks. If you have a Tesla coil or something like that, you can generate sparks. Every time there's a spark generated, whether it's small or large, like a large one, like a lightning bolt is a big spark, it creates not just the light and heat that might be involved, but it actually creates fields that radiate out for, in the case of lightning, for many, many kilometers, thousands of kilometers, actually. And Nikola Tesla used to listen to the incoming lightning storms, thunder and lightning storms that would come in. And he could pick up on that activity from up to 1,000 miles away. That'd be a couple thousand kilometers. He could hear in his receiver those sparks. And he was so much into lightning that he could hear these sparks, and he would name them, and he'd name them after Greek gods and goddesses, and he thought that each one was an individual. Each lightning bolt was had its own particular quality to it, and he was very much into that part of the creation of light and energy that way. And I'll also note the first radio transmitters were what's called spark gap transmitters, and they would use a gap with a spark between it to actually transmit the energy, and it would be picked up by another spark gap device that was able to sense that gap and turn it into something like sound, like the human voice. So interesting that that was the initial type of radio. But what they found out was that spark, that gap, the energy given out by that spark gap of any kind of spark is completely broad spectrum. It goes from the highest to the lowest spectrum, is all included in that spark. So it's not focused, you could say. So that wasn't very good for radio, to have many different stations. They would all interfere with each other, basically. So it was fine when you only had a local station and that was it. But the competition of radio stations made it so they had to have other types of broadcasting systems. So that's my little input on sparks.
Yes, my Derek, I also say this sparks came always, you know, like when we started this journey as a being, came many times, and the spark came now, like that, you know, the the way we are growing up, we were growing up, like the spark. Why? What is that? That is not good. Like that is not good. And the spark came. Oh, actually, what is that light? What is that light? Kind of that, you know. So it came after one by one. The sparks came, and this broadens every day, every time, every moment. And then when I saw the peace treaty, I am all sparked, and then and enlightened in a way, not that type, but in a way. I got this, and I know. Oh, here I am. Oh, that this is the purpose. Then the intentions became. Then the intentions came. You know, like the desire, the intention, the the love that came. That was never before. So thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. The spark. Yes, the all spark, indeed.
Thank you, Sweater. Dean, I'd just like to say, you made, I don't know why, but you were speaking about some certain things, and Rick beforehand, and speaking about Tesla and things. And it made me realize that in the there's many structures, physical structures around the planet Earth that we don't know where they came from. And and it makes me realize that and how people that or other beings that came would have seen, they called them gods back in the, everything was called a god. But when you have the knowledge and the understanding, and if you are creating, instead of trying to move massive matter state elements, if you create by the process of the creation, and place, your intention in a position, it's suddenly there. It's just the next stage on from the knowledge. And this would explain many of the positions that have taken place, and many of the positions that those that create in the wrong way are suddenly deportated. They no longer, they're no longer present. They're suddenly in a different position. So there's always an energy transfer, and there's always a rebalancing of the fields. So we create from the fields, and if you start to understand this, we can start to really create anything. It's just a matter of creating that spark of intention, and then using the fields like the three layers, and bring about a condition of enlightenment. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dean. Just realizing we're getting on in time here. I've got a video to play from the 605th. I think it's actually from the 606th Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the network system. So we should get into that. It's about 15 minutes. And we have another video after that, and then the needs and wishes. So we're kind of getting on here. Okay, let's listen to the video and take it from there.
There are a number of knowledge seekers who made what you call donations for systems to be given to others. We have started the process and we'll let you know who gets what, and it's your decision what to do with it. And it's the responsibility of the ones who receive the units to bring it into operation and working at all time for next decades, whatever it takes, and it lasts. The whole process will go under what we call testing by next week from physical units in different locations, in 2 or 3 locations, that we can test that to iron out the last phases of it. And we hopefully by October, we start releasing these units to you. Please make sure when you receive your unit, just plug it in and we tell you what to do with it. And the main reason and the first part of to make this system running very fast and for us to be able to do a lot of work is you have to understand this is a game, enlightenment game. So you can, or we bring other people to play the game. We increase the number of players to, as our people think, about 100,000. The system will become automatic on itself. And the game is, in a way, entices you to understand the process of the enlightenment. But with the knowledge we have today, on top of the digital information which you receive to use your card, you or use your coin, or you play to gain something that it gives you a bit of a coin, we will add into it, with the technology we developed, the essence of enlightenment. So you get, as normal system, gathering, collecting, whatever you do in the game, but not only you receive the what we call dividends on your play. If you're successful, you get so much of a bit of a coin, and then you can get so much coin. With the other parts which we add to it from the technology of the Keshe Foundation, you receive that bit of enlightenment as energy. So it's the first time, in a way, a system with a soul. You buy a computer, you connect it, has nothing. That's what it is. With what we developed and what has been designed in the design, in the actual, what we call printed circuit of the physicality, is adding that dimension of energy of the soul, the universal energy. And in that process, the two will work together in a way that what we add to it as an energy of this, what we call extra energy, with the interaction of the system with itself, will create a dimension of physicality, the soul of physicality and the soul, where we feed, and then you as knowledge seekers, as the players of the game, not only receive the coin extra, but you receive enlightenment as energy. And we would like to see how this fast goes. I ask those of you who promised that you take so much or you pay for something, please complete it, that we can get this completed as fast as possible. To what you committed, and we worked on what you promised to complete our side. Then what you will receive, most probably, the first batch of you in October, when you receive your units, understand that you become the first stage of this system to increase the number of players, and then increase the number of the units, and then we become to the point that we become our own structure of the work.
We don't need other things because we're all linked together. At the moment, you need the internet connection. But when we connect, as you saw even today's teaching, we connect through our system to your system, through our cosmic ray structure, then in a way we elevate the soul of the man. Even the man has a physical dimension of bottom up and the top to bottom, which never worked with man. If it would have worked, man would have received enough energy from the universe that it will not kill. So we're going the other way from the source, the essence of its creation, to do it. So please understand, when you receive these units, just follow the instruction. You receive 2 packages. The first package is your system. You get the instruction what to do. Everything is pre-programmed inside as much as we can do. And then you receive a second package which just connect to the first package. And then you create a live interactive in the dimension of energy and the system in the dimension of physicality. And then we'll see the change because these units will go across this planet. So it'll cover everything possible. It's not that we go through satellites and we don't need satellites and we don't need to do other things. This way goes directly connected cosmic. Every field of this planet Earth moves, it touches the system. Every single ray in the universe connects to the system. And then you understand the process of the, what we call the elevation of the soul of the man through the physical game of the our developer, and does developing the physical side to play the game, to get a coin. We play the same game through the same system, but elevating the soul of the man. And when we asked manufacturers that we need a second bit connected to it, they were puzzled, why do you need 2? But that you have a antenna of the man to the systems, to your Wi-Fi. This way we connect it to the systems, which you have seen remotely can connect. You use internet, you use phone, you saw how it comes. Enlightenment, man of the peace. But as he spreads across this planet, the dog, the cat, the man, the king, the peasant, all receive the dimension of the love and maturity. The test tomorrow is part of this. We don't tell you what we're going to do tomorrow to you, but you will tell us how you feel. And then we tick mark. We may have 2 sessions in September, because once we set, we want to complete. Then we'll go for another dimension with it. And then we see what will come and how you as knowledge seekers bring that process much closer. You got to remember, the cash coin, we have to tell you, keep on telling you, is inside the structure of the part of the what we call Keshe Foundation. And when in the future we bring it to public, that's in public, but it is part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation, inside the structure, valid within the Keshe Foundation. And as long as there is someone to take your coin for what you want, till we add the other dimensions into it, then you can do the exchange and the rest of it. It's got to be very clear how we will bring this knowledge. As I said, whatever we do, what I explained, you have the system, we add our system to it to bring the advantage. It's a pattern of work. We use the pattern office to produce a pattern to get the knowledge right across this planet we could get, but we never complete the plan because the objective of the whole thing was to share the knowledge that everybody gets, irrespective of place and position. It didn't become elite. It became public for all of us. And so it'll be the same pattern, the same one. One thing I ask you is, when you get enlightened to any dimension, don't become arrogant of the enlightenment. Become humble in what you have received. And your thoughts will not go higher than what we want, what we wish, and see yourself different. Because at the end of it, what you gain, what you think you're arrogant about, the knowledge you gain is the knowledge we gave you. Otherwise, it would have been zero. Enlightenment comes from the light, not from the darkness of the soul of them. The development and what we see is so rapid, as you saw it yourself today, that we need to complete this before these units put out the what do you call the communication units, which is out to go out to that, and then it goes back very, very fast. Please, those of you who placed the order, you were promised I'll do something completed, because we have to complete our other sides of the programming and the rest of it, that we have all the systems ready to be going, that we cover our numbers for security of it, as that's where you play the games. And as the more we have, the less the possibility of the damage. Any other question?
From Guillaume in Q&A, translated from the French, says, hello, Mr. Keshe. You said that one understands the teaching according to one's intelligence, and that when a person achieves knowledge, everyone understands it too. What can we say about intelligence at this time?
Very, very intelligent, which is mixed with the greed. Intelligence, we are very into, we become much more intelligent. Actually, we become more physically intelligent than understanding the universal knowledge. Our ancestors, thousands of years ago, they're more intelligent than us, because they understood the work of the universe. The further we have come down the human race, we become more materialistic. We don't understand the rest except material one. That's the difference. We have narrow-minded ourselves into the matter state, where they could understand. They understood the whole work of the universe, how galaxies work. They build systems that replicate them. And now we are more interested how to make a microchip, how to make this, how to make physically that, and what we do with the apple, and how we can cheat on the orange. It's interesting how, as the man goes further down the line, more and more materialistic becomes the. With what we have in our hand, with what we see in research by the Keshe Foundation, it's amazing to understand that now, with the knowledge we have, and you lot have been with it, we have seen the progress from us introducing energy of the physicality to the soul of physicality, the soul of the man. And in the coming weeks, we enlighten you and see how the true daughters of Mitra will be generated. This puts an end with what we've seen and what we have to the fallacy of the virgin birth. Because now we understand the birth of a child is the purity of the child, which was the soul of Christ. His soul was created from a pure, which is the purity of the soul of the creator of the universe, and embedded in the physicality of the man. It could have been any man, any woman, and in a way, the virgin birth comes from the dimension of the soul, not in the dimension of physicality. And if we understand this, and we can extend this knowledge with a unit which is coming out, many of you participating in it, we can change the course of humanity now with the knowledge we have, and we are gaining directly through the systems. Man gives you through the satellites, telephone connections, and whatever, internet, through the connection of system from Earth. That's where the shortage was. We give man that energy, which elevates the man to the soul and dimension of change of world peace. Man will shall never kill, because now we understand how through the systems we can feed you. You look for a coin and look for a coin of peace. And this is how these things will go. All these things which is getting a structure is making man ready for the next step, because the knowledge of the energy is with us. Knowledge of bringing man to the point is with us. And then we can create man which shall not kill, is not within the structure of his DNA, as has been adjusted, adopted, modified through the emotion of hunger, to emotion of greed, through the emotion of everything else.
Okay, and we have one other excerpt from the Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the peace and wishes. I'll play that now.
And it's time for humanity to become balanced, and then it's time for a lot of other things to move forward too. World peace come when there is peace everywhere in all aspects, and it's that dimension we go. And it's a wish of us as humanity. We want world peace, but when you have a world peace, there is bits needs to be adjusted to create it doesn't fall off the sky. It takes time.
Okay, thank you. We have a comment and question in the chat in Italian, and it goes in English. My name is Adele, and I'd like to tell you about an experience I recently had with Mr. Keshe, who was giving one of his extraordinary lectures, during which cosmic rays always seem to have an exceptionally beneficial effect. A few days ago, I had strange pains in my fingers that were bothering me a lot, especially when doing housework, and a strange and unbearable depression. I was gripped by a general malaise that I couldn't shake. Recently, my friend Dolores, whom I trust very much and who has been following Mr. Keshe for years, after my repeated complaints, strongly urged me to listen to his recordings, even though I don't understand English. So I followed her advice. I must say that the night after listening for the first time, even though I slept little, I woke up early, full of energy. The depression and the pain in my fingers were gone. Even my cats, who had been treated in vain for a long time because they were plagued by colds and bronchitis, immediately improved. I'm grateful to my dear friend Dolores for her suggestion to rely on cosmic rays, and to Mr. Keshe, who cares about improving our lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I
Thank you
guess
so
there
much.
wasn't really a
So
question
beautiful you
there.
shared.
It was a nice comment.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Uh,
Nice comment. Very, very nice indeed. Thank you.
Do you wish to end the recording that I'm playing?
Rick, I will say that we will play the recording uh, in the next upcoming One Planet One Day.
Sure.
We can skip
Okay.
to the wishes, needs and wishes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We, the Universal Council, elevate and nourish with our unconditional love and inner peace all souls involved in the UAE, Israel and intermediary, so that they realize the senselessness of their actions to continue the war. Divine blessings be with you and all the wonderful souls in Gaza. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders to maintain and enhance peaceful cooperation between China and the West. And we are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of our brothers and sisters of India and Pakistan for peace and enlightenment. Now, our wish is our command. We are present. Thank you so much. And the key, we are here to serve, not to be served, beautiful souls. And then, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the precious, beautiful, very beautiful energy of beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the hub of beautiful souls. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all universal souls. We are here. So much love is coming. Embrace, dear beautiful souls, embrace. Create the now, be in the now, create the new, according as the ethos of Mitra. Thank you so much. And I follow, join, hug, love Keshe Foundation. Come home. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute the Universal Council.
Okay, thank you, Shweta. And just let me get my picture back here if I can find it. There we go. Yes. Okay, thank you, Shweta, and thanks to all the members and support members of the Universal Council for today's wonderful program. And that will bring to a close our 395th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Our next public teaching program will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts on Wednesday, September 10th at the 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And that's the same as 10 p.m. Pacific time today on Tuesday. For those that would like to attend, and you might have questions like Tender in the YouTube, who is asking, what's the difference between sparks and ions? And that's the kind of question that we like to take on in the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and address that and other such topics, as well as anyone who has any practical experiments they'd like to show. That's a great place for that as well. Again, starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, September 10th. Of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on the 11th on Thursday at, so far as we know, at the 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, and I think that's it. Other than we will have our
Then we have
little dance and music.
Now dance.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, my dear.
We always have to end with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version, and
clap and dance.
May you clap and dance your way to through the day, and may the clapping remind you of thunder, which is like lightning, which occurs from lightning. So perhaps part of the clapping is our way of producing thunder and lightning in the world to help initiate the changes for peace. In any case, thank you all for attending today's workshop, and we'll see you again in the next public teaching. Bye for now.